Welcome back to the GRADEx Show on Earth, powered by GRADEx Media. I am James Cybulski alongside the guru, Fab Del Real. Reminder, just a quick like and subscribe. It's real easy just to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Be sure to follow along on X and Instagram for more content that covers all things in the collectibles world. And if you haven't signed up yet, go check out the gradexmedia.com website, and you can sign up for our newsletter and get all the latest news and trends that are happening in the industry. And there are a lot of movers and shakers right now. It goes right into your inbox twice a month. And the best of all, it's free. And you know who loves free? Not just me, not just Fabulous, but Fab, we got ourselves a rock star in the house today joining us here on this show.
Oh, we sure do.
He is a best-selling author. He is also on your television sets each and every night, breaking down all the news and highlights from Sportsnet, the one, the only, and my buddy, Ken Reid. How are you, man? Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure. Does anyone enjoy free stuff more than members of the media?
If it's free, it's for me, hey?
It's disgusting. Yeah, my two favorite kinds of beer, boys, free and free light. So there you go.
Breaking into the business, like, it was amazing to see like a smaller sporting outlet. The one way to attract people, free lunch or free dinner, right, Ken?
When I got to Calgary, it was unreal. Like, there was guys that they'd go on the free tour, right? The press conference, the free beer, the free sandwiches, the free golf clubs, the free rounds. Yeah, it was crazy. You could always tell who was the biggest connoisseur of free too by their polo tops, you know. That was the other thing. So, yeah, free was the way to go back in the day.
Free was a good time. What a time to be alive. Thanks so much for doing this. And I want to jump in. Like, you have been a guy in the collectibles world for a long time, and just kind of quietly always passionate about it, you know, through the dips, the highs and lows, and through the industry. What do you make of what we are seeing in 2026 right now with the world, and just how mainstream the industry has become?
Well, that's it. It's mainstream. Boys, you guys know this. Like, collecting hockey cards for years, it was kind of like a certain brand of cinema. A lot of people did it, but wouldn't admit they watched it. And now you can freely admit.
It's like wrestling.
Yes, like seriously, just like wrestling. You can admit you collect hockey cards now. You might get the odd smirk, but it's not people like, you total dork. Now it's like kind of a geek. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But yeah, it's gone mainstream. And I mean, for years it was just kind of this. I mean, I remember going to the Sports Card Expo. I'll just throw a year out there, 2014. And on Saturdays, you could, you know, safely throw a bowling ball down the alley and you'd hit some people, but not a ton of people. And now you can't move there. The National, that's insane. Fanatics Fest, the footage I saw from there, that's just, I don't even know what that is. But yeah, I was in it like you guys probably were during the boom of the late 80s, early 90s. And then, you know, I discovered these things called girls. I go away for a while, but you're always kind of looking at your cards. And then when I moved to Toronto, I got my dad to send up all my stuff because I kind of finally established myself that I wasn't going to move anymore because media took me all around the country. And I got heavy back into it around, I'd say 2009, 2010. And when COVID came, it was insane. I mean, there was stuff that sat in my closet, quadruples and doubles for years, that I thought was just going to take up space. And I'm like, well, this is moving. I'll set up an eBay account. And I couldn't believe it. Like, stuff that you couldn't give away. Yeah. And now where it seems like we're back in another boom with the modern. I don't do modern. I'm old. I'm a romantic collector. You know, if I got something, I'll flip it if I can make a few bucks, if I get doubles of it. But I'm not in this to make money. But I'm more of an old school collector. I don't really care if it's graded or not, but watching what's happening with modern now, the boom in like 91, 92 was crazy, but this is at another level. This is kind of hard to comprehend what's going on when you see guys, you know, just walking around with their little briefcases, flipping things. It's a different world to me. Who, you know, I'll go to a show and I'll get a huge kick out of, you know, just buying old hockey cards of a guy named Dick Paradise from the 72-73 Minnesota Fighting Saints, where other guys are just going around with everything's encased, and it's crazy. I never, ever did I imagine that this would ever happen again.
Yeah, I actually just came back from the National this weekend, and you mentioned all these guys with these cases and big cards, but the young kids with the cases and big cards.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Like I saw myself personally, I would say 2 or 3 different instances where these young guys are doing 5-figure deals for graded cards coming out of their black cases and holding their own. That's the impressive part. Is this younger generation appreciates the monetary side of it, but they know their stuff and they stick to it. It's like they've been well trained. It's like they have this endless information on the internet that they're learning from. Yeah,
as long as they're taking in the good stuff. So when I was a kid, I would set up at shows in Halifax and around Nova Scotia. My brother and I had our own business cards.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah. I would deal at these big shows, and my buddies would be working at Sobeys or McDonald's, and I'd go sell cards, and I'd walk out with $500, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and it was.
Oh.
It's a lot of money,
especially in those days, right? Like $500 at that time. Like, oh my god,
$500 at that time. And again, I was just selling my doubles. Like I'm selling like a 1990 score Larry Walker, right, for $2.
Yeah,
and that was amazing. And I remember doing that, so I can relate to these young kids. It's just at another level. But all things evolve. I'm fine with that. But yeah, it makes me. Sometimes I wonder if the kids will be still collecting when they're older, because it's such a business thing. But I'm sure back in 1990, all these old dealers thought the same thing about me. And I think if you continue to collect, I think most people, once you kind of conquer the modern, I think most people start leaning towards vintage. And then when these guys are 50, like I remember when I first moved here, doing a day trip to Cooperstown, and like the main street in Cooperstown is just lined with baseball card shops. It's heaven. Going in, and this guy had this bin and $1 card, and I just hoarded 18 Jose Canseco 1986 Dunross out of them, because in my day that was a $60 card.
Yes,
and get them for a buck. Buck was huge. Now I hope the market doesn't crash, but if these kids are doing it right, I think a lot of people are collector dealer kind of hybrids. Everybody likes to make a buck, so if they're doing it right, I hope they stick with this for a long time. But I don't see an end in sight anytime soon, but it's crazy right now.
Well, one of the things that really pops to me is there is an appreciation for the art of what the images are, right? And Ken, you've talked about this and romanticized a lot of this, and with references and on highlight shows. But not only that, you wrote a best-selling book about the industry as well. But there is something about the beauty of a card that, okay, it may not be a painting, but it is still, look, I mean, we want to use the gold standard of the 52 mantle or whatever, but there are some gorgeous looking vintage cards from the 1960s, early 70s, like some of those O-Peaches and tops from, man. And I'm guessing that is probably right in your wheelhouse, Kenny.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say wheelhouse. That is my wheelhouse. I look at cards as little pieces of history, little pieces of art. They are art. Back in the day, I mean, a lot of them were drawn. They're beautiful, and for me, that's kind of what it is. And I always say there's no such thing as a common card, because every card has a story. And when I see people just flip through and not kind of maybe take a second to admire that something was made in 1956 and looks like this, I want to say the 56 top Sawchuk. This off the top of my head, where he's kind of skating like that. Like, to me, that's great. That's a great hockey card, and like. Yeah, I like the art. I like the mangled art of the horrible airbrush as well. Like, I love to see that. Cards were so, like, when you talk about the art there, James, they were so much more innocent back then. Now, I mean, geez, you can make a card look any way you want. But yeah, I look at them as, I mean, look at the wrestling poster there you got behind you. Like, that's art. So I look at cards as little pieces of art, and little piece of art, little piece of history. And for me, as a geek, as a child, I mean, I spent a lot of nights in my room with my hockey cards, and that's how I got to know who all these players were. So if someone asked me about Merlin Malinowski, I can tell you who Merlin Malinowski is, because I looked at his Hartford Whalers card and saw that he was gone to Italy one day, and now playing in Europe, kind of thing. And I remember that stuff for some reason.
I was talking to a buddy of mine who plays Puckduku all the time, and it's like guessing the player and finding the more scarce a player for that connection of a former Hurricane, former Oiler, and for this one guy, he always posts like a fantastic score. I'm like, where does it come from? He's like, man, hockey cards.
Hockey
back in the
cards,
day.
yeah.
Just like reading the back of hockey cards.
What's that one my kids do? The 9 blocks. You had to name a guy who played for, say.
Well, that's the one. Yeah, Puck Duke or whatever.
That's the one I'm doing then too. And yeah, I love playing that. I love the baseball one too. But that all comes from cards. Honestly, it does. And that's why I say there's no such thing as a common card, because you guys know as journalists, everybody has a story, and every card has a story. And I know I'm maybe a dying breed, and I'm probably looked at if I'm going down the aisles at a huge show. Like the guys know what I'm looking for. And if I see all the glossy, that shiny stuff, I kind of walk right by it. Like, no, like I'm cool. Collect what you want to collect. That's just not my lane. So, but I think I hope we all share somewhat of a romantic tilt to it, but I know there's people in it who just want to make money too. And that's fine too. And, there's money to be made if you can do it the right way. But I think if you go into it to make money, I think that's a tough way to survive. Like it's not like we can just, it's not total liquid. It's not like selling a stock and you click a button and it's gone in 3 seconds. Like there's some effort into this. So those kids you're talking about, Fab, good on them. If they can flip it and liquidate it and turn it into cash, power to them.
Yeah. And the cool part, and you said it from the get-go, people evolve in their collections, right? We all got into cards because we were chasing Kevin Moss and Phil Plantier and all these guys, right?
Todd Van Poppel.
Phil Niven, Todd Van the Todd Van Poppel comes up all the time.
All the time. Poor Todd.
Right. And the thing is, so we did a story about this a little while ago, talking about baseball prospecting, because that's the toughest one. Greg Jeffries. I grew up a Mets fan.
Guy McDonald.
Great. Yeah. All these guys, right? Yeah. And we pulled up some numbers in terms of how many of these guys actually turn out, and not even turn out to be super all-star, Hall of Fame and collectible. Even the top 10 guys in Baseball America, the sure thing blue chip prospects, only 9% of them, going back like 25 years, have really turned into anything worthy of a Hall of Famer. 9%. Yeah. And you're including guys like Carlos Beltran, who's not that collectible. Andrew Jones, not exactly at the top of want lists, but people think that, no, this is the next best guy. This is the next best guy. And you think about the chances, it's really minute. So I think as you evolve and get older, you realize maybe let's go with the future Hall of Famers, the guys that, have a long legacy already, a little bit more blue chip. And James and I, we talk a lot about non-sports cards, entertainment cards, how, their legacies are set, the Superman, Batman, and that segment of the industry is growing like crazy right now.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to go down that road, it gets expensive and you get hooked into a lot of wormholes.
Yeah. I have no idea about that road. I've never had interest in driving down it, but what you said about the Kevin Moss, I mean, the Todd Van Poppel, the Greg Jeffries. So when I see kids collecting now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but every quarterback who comes up in the NFL is the next big thing, and their cards go nuts. And I remember when I was dealing and collecting in Nova Scotia, there was a dealer named Jim Stolzman, and he always had the best vintage stuff. And he's like, everybody will come to vintage eventually. And he was so right. And I'm sure, I know when I see these kids, look at Zion during COVID, Zion Williamson, that went nuts. So when I see these kids prospecting, I now am the wise old man. And I just kind of look at, been there, done that, boys. And the only guy who ever worked for me was Ken Griffey Jr. That worked out. Yeah, that worked out. But I also had a ton of Sammy Sosas. I went deep on Sammy Sosa, so that worked out for a period of time. But when I see these guys like paying right out of the pack for, no offense, but Connor Bedard, that price is going to come down because you want to have the first comes out PSA 10 right away. You're paying way too much. So just
agreed. It's
like bank stock, man. Just slow and steady wins the race. That's why the legends like, Gordie Howe, Maurice Richard, a Wayne Gretzky, a Mickey Mantle, they all just kind of go, but they go like that now because it's so crazy. But
Ken, I was talking to a friend out here, and he deals in high-end vintage hockey from the 60s and 70s. Like that's his wheelhouse. And he's one of two people on the planet that have a PSA Bobby Orr 10 rookie card. And, kind of like, wow.
I didn't even know there was one.
There's two.
There's two.
Wow.
There's two, and he's got one of them. And but the one thing he was saying is, even to this day, that hockey is grossly undervalued.
Yeah.
In comparison to what vintage baseball, and so for him, he still sees a huge opportunity in vintage hockey. So what you're talking about, like, as much as people love the shiny new toys, like the long play is that vintage that you're talking about.
Yeah, I always think the long play is vintage, but that's easier for me to say, but that's what I like and that's what I collect, right? And
Sure, exactly.
But I get that, but in 1990 I was running out to get Mark Recchi rookies, right? I have 50 Troy Gamble O-Pee-Chee Premier rookies that I've gathered over.
How about every Eric Lindros scorecard from the early 90s that was supposed to be hot,
so
right?
Eric is the first guy to tell you. They might have printed a little too many of them. I remember going to the 2016 National in, I want to say it was Chicago. Yeah, it was Chicago. It was at Rosemount then. And I came across a box of hockey, and like hardly anybody has hockey there, right? And it was 5 cents each. And as a guy who's collecting and coming at it from that 1990 look, when I used to work at a card store and selling the Lindros rookies for $20 each, they were 5 cents a piece. Because I had 30, I bought them all, obviously, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So, and I wonder if in 20 years there's going to be, there will be endless slabs of guys that were once $400 a piece in a bin for $2 each. That's just the way it is. Because Fab, you said people are going to swing and miss on some of these guys, and they're all graded right now. And I wouldn't want to get holding the bag, is what I'm saying for a lot of this stuff. And that's the nature of it. If you're going to gamble on rookies, someone's going to be caught holding the bag.
Well, that's it. It is a gamble. And even when you get into those blue chip guys, like we all remember the Wander Franco situation, he was the #1 prospect in baseball on the field and in collecting.
Yeah.
And then look at that. All of his stuff went to zero virtually.
So Fab, maybe you should take some of that advice as you continue to buy all that Cybulski stuff, right? Hey, you've been just waving that
love
flag
that guy.
for the last 6 months.
It's the other thing about vintage, man. Like, if it's really old, there's not going to be any new scandals, right?
Yeah.
But that's
mostly.
it. Hopefully.
Except for those that bought into OJ back in the day, but sure,
yeah, that's true. If you went heavy on OJ,
is it great? Is it bad to admit that I have an OJ Simpson rookie?
Is it bad to admit I have an autographed OJ Simpson rookie?
Do you really?
I do.
Fantastic.
I do. That's been around in my collection for a while, and that's weird. But I have it.
But you know what? There is a strange market for it, even still. And
things can be collectible for a number of reasons, right?
Yeah, there you go.
What's that weird card with the Menendez brothers on it? That hoops card?
Oh, yes, that's right. That basketball.
Mark Jackson, 1990 hoops.
The professor nails it. Yeah, I mean, things are, there's all kinds of weird stuff out there.
It's funny how that has become a card now, right? Like for for like prime basketball junk wax era. Right, and now all of a sudden that card
billions of them, but
literally
desirable.
A 2-cent card, literally a 2-cent card that went to $10 overnight, and graded copies like 10s, I think, are about $300. Well, it's actually tough to grade.
Like the Billy Ripken F-face card. I mean, I remember selling those at shows as a kid for $80 each. I sold 3 for $80 each. Then I'm at the National in 2016 or 17. My brother came with me to Cleveland, and his line is, guys like, what are you looking for? Do you have the F-face? He didn't say F. And one guy's like, yeah. He had a pile of them for like $5 each. Now
they're huge.
Like what's gone on in the last 10 years, really the last 6, is just, it's insane. And I don't know how all these people, it's kind of like people, like you were saying, guys, they could admit they watch wrestling. So they could admit they collected cards. And then when everybody admitted it, well, they could talk about it to each other. And again, with YouTube now and all these content creators with cards, it just keeps snowballing, because the more people talk about it, the more people admit it, the more they talk about it, the more they have to stay engaged. It's like a blob. It's like a giant Walmart that just keeps growing. And I wonder how long it will last, but I don't see it stopping anytime soon. But did you ever think we'd get to the point where this was so popular / out of hand that the world's most popular grading company would be just like, whoa, no, uncle. Like we have to stop. Like that's insane to me. Imagine Imagine if Coca-Cola or Pepsi got so popular, it just said, "Look, we're out of Pepsi. We can't."
Right.
We're out. We can't keep up.
Yeah.
It's
Can you
crazy.
imagine if there was an ESPY award for card of the year, which we saw a couple weeks ago? Like, unbelievable.
It's like this is mainstream, and it's
Yeah.
it again, James. Everything goes back to wrestling. It's kind of like Raw in like 2000 or the Monday Night Wars. People could admit they watched it. Now wrestling has since blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So will cards follow that, or are cards gonna just keep on chugging? And I think if the companies are smart, they can keep it going for a while. And
I think, you know, the one thing that comes up that a few people talk about is the celebrity impact. And again, this just might be a fad in some respects, but the fact that you're starting to see guys like, you know, listening to an interview with Tom Brady recently that he's invested into certain things. You got a guy like Kevin O'Leary, and you know, you love him or hate him, that guy has been waving the card collecting flag this particular year, like walking red carpets and hey, maybe trying to overinflate the value of whatever card he had walking down there, this one of one that he had. But at the same time, like, again, it's all exposure. It's eyeballs that would never have previously looked at card collecting or the sports card industry. And so it's also, I think, a different level of finance that is now put their name or put their stamp on it.
Well, it's the kind of the art money, right? And
yes, exactly.
I'm sure there's some money being cleaned through this. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just
that was a big talk during COVID, right?
Yeah, there has to be. But I feel like the guy who's had a house on the cool block for a long time. I used to have the house parties, and now somebody's moved in beside me, and he's having the house parties. Like, I'm still, like, I'm the old guy here. Like, if this all fizzles, I'm still going to be going and trying to get my old vintage cards. But I think, James and Fab, if things follow the way they always have, then the guys going hard modern now will eventually get into vintage. I think that's just that's the what is it? The Lion King, the circle of life. Everything becomes nostalgic as you get older. So as long as they're in it for the right reasons, it might not slow down for a while.
Yeah. And the one thing that was encouraging this weekend at the National, because you got all kinds of different collectors with different motivations, but the conversations were awesome because they were about the cards, they were about the players. And that gives you hope that it's not just a lot of people flipping. It's people that are into it because they love the sport, and it kind of complements their fantasy football. And, you know, I think it's become a part of people's lifestyle now. And there are, you know, all hobbies have a price, and this was a very expensive one.
Yeah.
But there is a real benefit to it.
What wasn't moving at the National? Like, what wasn't selling?
I don't know. The craziest part was that there was very little negotiating. Dealers were saying, like, people were paying sticker price.
That's insane.
And some tables, regular tables, were literally 3-4 people deep for the opportunity to buy.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. And a lot of it is, you know, there's a lot of inventory that's there. There's a lot of
now
stuff
there's celebrity buyers, right? Or celebrity dealers, or it's like, oh, I just want to have a chance to buy from Ken Reid kind of thing. Like, it's
absolutely, that's part of it as well. Gary Vee.
That's the power of social media, of YouTube, right? It's turning. It's funny. Like I was saying, like the whole card thing, it's kind of based on hero worship. Let's face it. A lot. Oh my God, I got a Tom Brady. Well, now if you fall in love with some guy on YouTube and you can buy a card from him, like you see YouTube content creators posing for pictures and like you said, to buy a card from, I don't know, like, again, as an old guy, I don't really get it, but I mean, it's just wild to me. Like, you know, it's just
and to
crazy.
me, the other thing I like is that it shows there's a lot of interest in this stuff. It's not just about the buying and selling. There's a lot of time being spent on content. People are taking up their full weekends, their vacations. Like, that was a 5-day show, Wednesday to Sunday. That's a commitment of time, and convincing your wife that me and the kid are going away for the week to Chicago. That part is really encouraging, the interest and the conversations that were going on.
And it's good branding too by the dealers, because if you can brand yourself as some kind of super dealer, you know what it is? You wouldn't want to buy chicken from me, but if you got a chance to buy a bucket of chicken from Colonel Sanders himself, maybe you'd overpay a little. So if somebody looks at a dealer as a celebrity dealer, you're definitely going to buy from him. That's just as good business, right?
Yeah. Totally.
That's smart.
That's good.
And that's
good.
what this whole social media world has done to this. I mean, it's just it's blown it up in a way I couldn't imagine. And I was just I felt sometimes it shows back in the day I'd feel like lonely. And part of me misses the fact that I could go down and get some good stuff out of a dollar bin. Now I'm like the last show I was in Toronto, I'd look and I'm going on cases. I'm like, what in God's name is that? Like, you can't charge $50 for a banged up 6970 O-Pee-Chee Terry Sawchuk. That's like $1 card to me. But I'm like, if somebody pays $50 for it, I guess that's what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like doing now too is going to shows and just kind of looking in cases. And I always send pictures to my buddy of the most ridiculous thing I've seen in the case. The last show I was at, I saw a 1990 Don Ross Ken Griffey Jr. Diamond King in a display case. I'm like, with no price on it. I'm like, is that a joke? Like that's maybe 2 cents in my opinion, but I don't know anymore. Like it's just like stunning.
Yeah, second year common insert, and the guy has no price on it, meaning he's going to look it up, so he's not missing out on any market jumps. I
saw some content from the National. A guy had a 1981 Topps Nolan Ryan it wasn't graded, and it said mint $100. I'm like, is he fishing? Because if that's $100, I'm sitting on a lot of money right now. Like, then again, something's worth what someone will pay for it. But it's just, I think part of it is dealers are just going, hey, I'll just throw this number on it. And Fab, as you said,
that's it. That's exactly what people are doing. It's like, I got to throw a sticker on it and
never know.
Shoot for the moon. But if somebody comes in at even maybe 20% less than what my moonshot was, it's like, you know what? I still got 80% of of what I was hoping to get.
It's like Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemount High. You put the vibe out to 30,000 women. One bites, you're good, right?
Numbers game, right?
The numbers game. Yeah. But Damone, that's the idea, right?
Before we wrap it up, I want to ask you, you've written a number of best-selling books, but hockey card stories.
Can you believe I wrote a book, James? Isn't that weird?
Well, I remember the first time, it's fun, buddy, we've had some fun over the years, and I remember the first time I was like, really?
Yeah.
And then it was like, wow, actually, this is really good.
The guy from the corner bar at Cowboys is a writer.
Yeah. Byward Market, all of it. That guy. I know him. Now I need to get him to sign these books for me.
Yeah, exactly. I've written 8 freaking
Put it right next to my OJ card.
Wow.
Yeah, 8. And the first one was hockey card stories. And it goes back to what I said. Every card has a story. And it's funny, when I wrote that, it was just like, the blogs were out there and people were pointing out old hockey cards. And I, for years, had laughed at my old hockey cards, the airbrushes and stuff. And I thought, well, I wonder what the guys on them think. And I started at Sportsnet, and I was working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had nothing to do during the week. Didn't have any kids. I'm like, I should call some of these guys. And I knew a few of them. So I called them, and first thing they'd all do is laugh, right? Oh, my God. Yeah, I had a perm in 1979. Or, I looked like Meathead. Or I don't know why they put that uniform colored over. And so it just evolved into a book. And it did really well. And I wonder if it released now, how well it would do. Like probably better. But it still sells. Yeah, it still sells. It's still out there. I did a sequel. And I got to thank Don Cherry big time because he was such a good sport. Because when I first proposed it, it was going to be just common cards. And the publisher said, well, we need some big names, right, to help sell it. And so thank you, Don. Dougie Gilmore came on for that first book too, and they didn't have to return their calls, my calls. So thanks to them for putting some big names in the book. And then by the second one came out, I had Bobby Orr and Guy Lafleur, but just as important to me were, guys like who names you'd never know, who just had some deadly hockey cards over the years. So yeah, it still sells. I still enjoy looking at it. That ECW did a great job on it.
Yeah, you can still find copies online, bookstores all over. And congrats, man! It's so much fun and to read. I'm sure talking to those athletes, they must have loved just going down that memory. Like once you start peeling the layers back, they must have just loved it.
They did, and I think it was kind of a unique way to tell their stories too.
Yes,
nobody kind of went at it through the hockey card angle, so that kind of made it fun, right? And I think that it kind of immediately broke the ice in a way. because I didn't know most of these guys that I called. So
Mhm.
now when I call guys like, oh yeah. So I just did a book. It's coming out in a year on the 80s. So, and it's kind of my take on the 80s. So not, the Oilers were great. The Islanders were great. There's some different stories on that too. But yeah, the cards are a great icebreaker with people. Like it's kind of like wearing a funny t-shirt. Like I got this plain black shirt on. That's not going to start any conversations, but James, the OPG shirt you wear, that's going to start conversations, That's
beauty.
Oh yeah. I think I got to give it a shout out to, I think it's Black Maple Trading Company. I think that's who popped up. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need one of them.
If it makes you feel better, I have one too. So we're aligned that way
yes.
as well.
Very good.
There you go.
Very
well, no,
good.
man. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, and it's funny because that's a conversation starter. You walk down and you get, every once in a while you get somebody who's like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And everybody collected OPG. Now we can admit it. And to me, like it's kind of cool because it's a fun thing. You can do it your own way. Maybe you'll make a couple bucks too. And I think Fab, you mentioned like guys telling their wives they're going to go to the National for 5 days. It's an easier sell now. It's like, yeah, maybe I'll come back with a wad of cash, honey.
Exactly.
They like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I spent $5,000 on this Gretzky Ken Griffey Jr. 1990 Donruss.
Yeah. I bought a pack for $500 and didn't get a hit.
And the gum was terrible.
Thank God I didn't go down that lane. So that's the other thing about vintage, right? I know what I'm getting. So plus, I think it'd be weird to collect cards of guys I'm covering on TV and that are younger than me. I'll admit that.
Yes, there is. I remember having this conversation with your colleague Carolyn Cameron. She was like, nobody should wear a jersey of an athlete that is younger than them.
That's just it. That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
And I remember I had not heard that at the time, and then I was like, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. And you know what I've never done? I've never worn a jersey of an athlete younger than me. So.
Exactly. That's a very good point. Exactly.
Thank you for this.
Love it.
Boys, pleasure.
Thanks,
Happy to talk cards anytime.
Yeah, really appreciate this. And maybe we'll go down the rabbit hole again. I think there's a convention coming up in your neck of the woods in the fall. I might see you at.
Toronto Expo around the fall, Remembrance Day weekend. And next time I'll rip the Joe out for you, James, because in the closet.
Love it.
Over there.
And maybe we can wear our old Peachy shirts together too.
Oh, we could. That would be fun.
Twinning.
Mine's a little skin tight though now.
You and me both, buddy. I'm shaped like a pear over here. So you take care of yourself. The one and only Ken Reid joining us here on the GRADEx Show on Earth. He's Fab. I'm James. That's Ken. Thanks so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.